to Mid-State Money Talk. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Alvin Deitrich and Joe Deitrich of First Choice Financial Services. And to our viewers at home, we have a very important topic to talk to you about today. We're going to talk about something that's known as the iron curtain around your assets. We're going to talk about estate planning. Now, a lot of people in the viewing audience probably thinks about estate planning, or if you do, that's wonderful. But a lot of people don't like to talk about it because, of course, it involves death and being deceased. But it's an important topic to talk about. So we're going to pull the curtain back today and do a deep dive into estate planning and why it's overall important for you. Alvin, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
It's so good to see you.
You too.
Love that color on you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Of course. And Joe, how are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's always good to see you. I'm glad we're back.
Me too, and I'm glad that you both could take the time to come in today because I know that you've been so busy. Obviously, you have the workshops, you have the client events, and now the TV show, and you're meeting new clients. You're both extremely busy, and Kevin as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's holding down the shop today.
That's where he is.
That's
okay,
right.
Great. I knew it.
Yes.
Well, estate planning, let's spend some time talking about that today because obviously it's known as the iron curtain around your assets, but a lot of times it's an uncomfortable subject for people to talk about. It does involve passing away. Alvin, do you find that to be the case, that a lot of people shy away from talking about estate planning overall?
Yes, I do. So many people come in and they say, well, can I get to that later? Now is later.
Yes.
Now is later. And so, yes, I find that a lot of people, particularly if they have adult children or single individuals, they just don't like to talk about it.
Yes, because it can be complicated. It involves estate attorneys, it involves legalese, if you will, so there's just a lot, and we should point out that you're not estate attorneys. We should talk about that right now.
Exactly right, yes.
But Joe, it fits into the overall retirement planning process. So I should ask you, what are some common concerns that people have when they come into the office to talk about estate planning?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of uncertainty around it. You know, a lot of times they don't want to approach it because, you know, it's just a little bit too overwhelming. You know, they're too busy, it's overwhelming. But, you know, it's not just for the ultra wealthy. You know, this is something that everybody really should have in place. And there's some basic fundamentals in there. And really, it's about having control and protection of both your assets and your healthcare decisions. And so this is really as simple as that. You know, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. We just need to break it down step by step and walk them through it. And they, on the other side, seem much more comfortable.
Sure, that makes sense. Alvin, I should ask you, everyone needs an estate plan, but if you don't have an estate plan, doesn't the state have one for you?
Oh, yes, the state has a plan for you if you don't take the time to make one for yourself.
Okay.
You may not like it.
Probably won't like it.
Your family may not like it, but there's one there.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's why it's so important to determine what it is you want to have happen, and do a step-by-step, take a step-by-step look at what you want to do, how you want to do it. And like you said, we're not attorneys, but we can get you started, and then we can send you to a group of attorneys who will complete the process.
Yeah. Okay.
And it would be a shame to go through all of the work, do all of the other planning, and leave this one important element out of it. This is part of a holistic plan for your retirement, and to leave one element out of it, especially such an important element as this, could be a big mistake.
Sure. And what are some unexpected benefits of estate planning, Alvin?
Unexpected benefits are that the money goes where you want it to, and it goes there in a timely fashion. It can get there when you want it to. If you want to provide money to minors and you don't believe they're ready to handle it, you can set ages where a portion of that money comes available to them. Yeah, and well, I'll let Joe go in.
Yeah, it can really simplify the process, especially for your loved ones once you're passing, and that takes a huge burden off of them. That's one of the things that we talk about a lot, is just how much easier it is to administer all of those things when you have clearly laid out exactly what it is that you want to happen with your assets.
Very important. And also, there are some tax advantages, if you will, to estate planning. Joe, can we talk about some of the tax advantages?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, to the extent that we can, your beneficiary should get your assets, right? So if we can avoid taxes and have Uncle Sam be one of your beneficiaries, why don't we do that? Let's take a look at that very seriously. So the tax advantages is a big key in your estate planning. If we can avoid the probate system altogether, or at least a part, that's going to benefit you and your heirs.
Okay, so it definitely helps to simplify the process, Alvin,
Yes.
overall.
That's
when
right.
someone passes away, you can take control and make sure that your assets go exactly where you want them to go.
Yes, and while you're doing that, planning on which assets should go where. There are times when through your planning, you can have certain assets go to certain folks, and they're not immediately taxed in that year. They can be taxed over a period of time. And so again, in thinking of who's going to be getting the asset, you can take the next step and make sure that Uncle Sam doesn't get any more of that asset taxed than should be.
Okay, all right. So again, Joe, it's providing peace of mind.
That's
Having
right.
an estate plan really is peace of mind.
Absolutely. Peace of mind for you and for your beneficiary and your heirs. Absolutely. So wouldn't you like to go to sleep at night knowing that whatever happens tomorrow, all of your loved ones are going to be taken care of?
Absolutely. And Alvin, we can't stress enough that you and Joe and Kevin, you're not estate attorneys, if you will, but do you work with some estate attorneys to help process
Yes,
go
we
smoother?
have attorney groups that we've been referring folks to for over 20 years. Great relationships.
So during our process, we're looking at the strategies that implement these things and get, like Al said, get them moving in the right directions. But these are really implemented and giving them the connections that they need to really execute these.
So really, overall, it comes down to holistic retirement planning, and an estate planning piece is a very important piece of that puzzle.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
We're going to take our very first commercial break. Would that be okay with you,
That
gentlemen?
would be great, sure.
Okay, to our viewers at home, there's a number to call on your screen, 888-959-2743. We realize you're sitting in the viewing audience today, and perhaps you're hearing for the very first time about estate planning and how that fits into the holistic overall retirement plan. If you need to have a well-constructed plan, please call into this number, 888-959-2743. You've worked your entire life to get to the retirement years, and you deserve to have peace of mind. Without having a plan in place for your retirement, can you really have peace of mind and sleep well at night? This is completely complimentary, and what you're being given is the gift of these gentlemen's time. They're going to actually listen to you. They're going to talk about your goals, your dreams, and your wants for retirement, and design a plan that's going to suit your needs. Once again, 888-959-2743. If you don't have your pen handy, that's okay. You can grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to the landing page for First Choice Financial Services, and you can book your time accordingly. You deserve to have peace of mind. We'll be right back momentarily.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter. The one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Welcome back to Mid-State Money Talk. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Alvin Deitrich and Joe Deitrich of First Choice Financial Services. We're talking a lot today about estate planning and why it's important for everyone. Everyone needs to have an estate plan. Well, gentlemen, there are some famous people that have something in common. It's not a great thing to have in common, but they failed to plan for their estate when they passed away. So some of these names might surprise our viewers at home. Elvis Presley did not have an estate plan. Prince, Michael Jackson, Sonny Bono, Pablo Picasso, Abraham Lincoln, Jimi Hendrix, and Bob Marley all had one thing in common: did not have an estate plan when they passed away. Whoa, what a mess is that, Alvin?
Well, Bob Marley's song said, "Don't worry, be happy."
True.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen. And so the biggest problem with that is Uncle Sam took a huge bite out of all of that money that they worked for.
Wow.
Didn't need to be. And who knows how many family members got minimal or nothing out of what was intended.
Yes.
Yeah. And we don't know the interactions between those family members, those beneficiaries, those heirs that should have had a clearly defined estate plan that knows what happened. Now we're leaving it an empty space there for a vacuum, for conflict, for strife, for worry. That doesn't necessarily need to be.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because none of us are getting out of this alive, right? I mean, we all have to make plans for when we're no longer on this earth. And you have to have a plan for what's going to happen to your stuff. There's never been a U-Haul tied to the back of a hearse, if you will. I don't know how else to put that, right?
That's exactly right.
So you can't take your stuff with you.
Need a little bit of humor. We are talking about, death and end of life, and so
we have to lighten the mood.
go.
And I was going to say, I'm not sure about Abraham Lincoln not having an estate plan. Was it even, was it around back then? I don't know, but I'm trusting that that's true. It's amazing.
Yep.
So estate planning has been made out to be really complicated, but it doesn't have to. Can we boil it down just a little bit, Alvin?
Yeah, well, the bottom line is who gets what.
Okay.
When do they get it? And how much of that do they get?
Okay.
And so when you're looking at it, like Joe said, so many times there's strife within a family.
Yes.
There's issues between family and in-laws, outlaws. Everybody is at odds. That is so unnecessary.
Absolutely.
And instead of talking about who gets what, you're thinking, who got what?
Yeah.
They got what?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and it doesn't need to be complicated. We can boil it down to just two things, really. It's pretty simple. So, who gets what and how? And, is it going through probate? Is it not going through probate, right?
I hope it's not going through probate. That is terrible.
Yes.
It's the worst.
Yep.
Let's talk about what tools you will use to make sure that they're in the right shape, if you will, with estate planning. What tools do you sometimes work with, if you will?
Yeah, so it really starts with education.
Okay.
We need to just have a basic understanding as to how things work, and specifically, let's take, for example, retirement accounts.
Okay.
Accounts that we can establish a named beneficiary on. If we understand how that works, if we understand how the administration of the estate works, then we know that those accounts are going to go directly to the person that you have named properly.
Okay.
Name them properly, keep them up to date, and they go directly there. Doesn't have to go to Uncle Sam at all, right? Immediately
Right.
upon death, right there. So it's pretty simple, right? So just understanding what your accounts, how your accounts are structured, and which ones that you can add beneficiaries to is the first step.
Okay.
Yep.
And Alvin, please go ahead. You were going to say something.
What I was going to say is, so many people come into our office, and we ask the questions: Are your beneficiaries correct on all of your accounts? And the quick answer is, yeah, sure.
Or I think so.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, let's know so. Let's pull those accounts and find out who is named beneficiary. And inevitably, there's one or two that has an ex-wife on there, or
None
an
at all.
ex-girlfriend, or nothing at all. Yeah. So like Joe said, if you want your family to get those benefits, those dollars that he talked about with IRAs and those type of things, life insurance proceeds, name the beneficiary, and it doesn't take years or months to get the money. It's immediate. And there is immediate money needed to settle estates.
Okay. Absolutely. And again, estate planning is just peace of mind, Joe.
That's right. Absolutely. Peace of mind. So, you're basically setting out in writing what it is that you want to do with your health and your assets. That's a peace of mind for you, again, and for your heirs. So, take that first step, get educated, and, meet with somebody that's going to help you walk through that process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because one of the other things that we should talk about, if things get tied up in probate, there's a lot of fees, heavy fees.
Yeah.
Talk about those for a little bit, Alvin.
Yeah, probate carries with it a series of costs. And if you can avoid that process, at least you can avoid those particular costs. You're not going to avoid inheritance tax and those type of things, but you will avoid those costs and fees from the people who are implementing that probate process on your behalf. And
we're talking about all of the accounts that we didn't talk about. So we talked about the beneficiary accounts. Those are going to be your IRAs, your 401ks, all of those kind of things. Now this is everything else that's left. Also in those things may also be things that you own jointly with a spouse. So they're going to automatically get their spouse. But everything else, the house, the furniture, all of the special stuff, your collections, those are all going to go into your estate and could go through probate. And like you said, those fees, legal fees to administer that could be there. It also could be some time delays.
Yes.
So it could be months until that's actually settled. And then you're also going to have the fact that once it goes to the probate court, it's part of public record. So it's open for everybody to see.
Wow, so your whole entire estate, your business is just out there.
Absolutely.
And so people can make claims that really don't even have a right to make claims. Would that be true?
That's
part of the
entirely
public inspection.
possible. Yeah.
Wow, that is scary. Yeah. So what happens when someone dies without a will, Alvin?
Well, the state has a plan for you, whether you like it or not, and those proceeds will definitely have to go through a probate process. And they will be subject to all the fees, the time limitations, and so on. There have been estates that have taken years to settle. And if you're a surviving spouse, the IRS wants its tax within 9 months of the date of death. And so that's purely a guesstimate based upon who's dealing with your estate.
Yeah, if you pass away intestate without a will, they're going to create one for you. They're going to most likely take their best guess at what it should be, but that's certainly not going to be what you wanted it to be.
Right. Yeah. So again, it's down to the proper planning for your retirement, and an estate plan is so very important to encompass in all of that. Alvin, I know that there's a special offer that we're presenting to the viewers at home today. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that is before I open the phone lines?
Yes, we're offering you an appointment, a complimentary appointment, to come into our office. I've been told it's probably one of the two most important appointments you may have in your lifetime. A lot of times people spend more time planning a vacation than they do for their estate. And we want to offer that opportunity to you to come in, to get your questions answered, and to make some decisions that really need to be made. And we're going to do it for you at complimentary, so leave your checkbook at home. We don't want you to bring your checkbook, just your information, and allow us to have the time to show you how to do it properly.
Alvin, thank you so much. Joe, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call is 888-959-2743. Completely complimentary, no obligation whatsoever. Allow First Choice Financial Services to take a look at what you currently have in place for your retirement years. Do you need to have a plan that's rewritten, that's something new and fresh? Yes, you do. An overview, a comprehensive, holistic retirement plan. All you have to do is call in today, 888-959-2743, or pick up your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to the landing page of First Choice Financial Services, and you can book your complimentary consultation. We'll be right back momentarily. We have so much more about estate planning when we return.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just a downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
And welcome back to Mid-State Money Talk. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Alvin Deitrich and Joe Deitrich of First Choice Financial Services. And we're talking all about estate planning and how that fits into your overall retirement plan and why it's important to you. You need to have that peace of mind. Alvin, I want to ask you a question. The benefits to having a revocable living trust. What are the benefits to having that?
Well, first of all, you get to avoid probate on anything that is within the living trust. Having a living trust doesn't benefit you unless it's funded. So if you create a living trust and you never get it funded, you never put your mortgage in there, you never put your accounts in there, it's just a piece of paper. But you need to have it funded, and that's where we help. We can come in and we can help you fund that living trust. And the attorneys that we work with, they're very good, and they will be very careful in executing that revocable trust just the way you need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
A good way to think about it is if you packed a suitcase for vacation, everything that goes in the suitcase that's in your living trust, that's where you're going to get your benefits from. Everything you left at home, that's still going to go through probate. You're not going to take that along. So everything it's important that we're putting everything in that suitcase.
And also, what about it being revocable? Does that mean that you can change your mind about something because it's revocable?
Yes.
Okay.
A revocable trust is one that you can alter from time to time. A revocable trust does not remove assets from other liabilities that you may have, long-term care and those type of things. But yes, it gives you just what you want. It gives you an opportunity to have those proceeds go through your estate without having to go through the probate process.
Okay. All right.
And it also allows you to set forth some directives so that you can have your assets managed the way that you would want them to. Say you become incapacitated at some time in the future. So the things that you now, while you're still able to make those decisions, you can lay those out, and those will continue on even when you're unable to make those decisions.
Wow. So another part of the estate planning process, Joe, would be the medical directive. So you're giving someone the opportunity to know your wishes.
Oh, absolutely. It's very important. There's several documents that you want to get into place, and that's one. You want to have somebody that you trust.
Okay.
And you've had a conversation with. They know what your wants and needs would be in certain situations, but they're going to have the ability to make some important decisions for you medically when you're not able to.
Would that be the health care power of attorney?
That would be your health care power of attorney. Now, you can
Okay.
also have a financial power of attorney, which is going to now address your assets. That's going to be your money power of attorney and your health power of attorney. And we talked earlier about it's about maintaining control, right, and protection for you in both of those areas.
Okay. Thank you so much. And what about the durable power of attorney? Is that something that we should think about as well?
Well, both power of attorneys could be durable.
Okay.
Durable simply means that it's including your wishes on the DNR process.
Okay.
Do not resuscitate. And those questions will be part of the healthcare power of attorney or the financial power of attorney. That's what they call a durable power of attorney.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
Sure.
Well, we've talked about things that happen when people are passing away. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about some fun things while people are alive. Talk about client events. What's happening with your client events right
absolutely.
now, Joe?
So we try to have several client events every year, and we may do a baseball game. In fact, we recently just did a dinner theater. People love that. And I think our next one coming up is going to be a little bit more formal. We're going to get a little fancy. We're going to do a little Christmas time party. And so it's something that I know we look forward to, and I know what our staff does. We always love to get a little extra time with our clients and a time we can get to know them, they can get to know us.
I love that. So everyone's invited, bringing their spouses and just really coming to have a good time, enjoying and getting to know one another.
That's right. And you'd be amazing how many connections happen between clients that maybe never met.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And like when we do our Christmas event, which is what he's talking about, we try to have that just be our clients. But the other events, they bring their friends, they bring relatives. We just want as many people there that they can enjoy their time. And like you said, we've done baseball events, we've done dinner theaters. Our last dinner theater was Jersey Boys.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. And our clients loved it because it was the music of their time.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun.
Yes.
I want to go. Definitely. Well, a lot of times people ask how often they can expect to hear from their financial advisor. Alvin, how often do you reach out to your clients?
Well, we reach out at least one time a year.
Okay.
And it's usually a set time that really is most beneficial to them, whether their accounts come due at that period of time or they need to make decisions on next year's contributions and those type of things. But typically, in the first 2 years especially, we try to be in touch with them several times, probably 4 times a year. You know, we try to do it quarterly, and if that doesn't work, then we're trying to reach out to them on their birthdays. We're trying to reach out to them anniversaries, and especially when we have events, we try to reach out to them and just let them know that we'd really like them to try to clear their schedule and come to our events. So it's nice to hear from us from a business perspective, and it's very nice to hear from us from a personal perspective. One of the other things that we really enjoy doing is after someone becomes a new client with us, we like to send them a small gift, and the gift is something that that every client can use, and they just love it, and it's nice getting a gift a couple months after you've met somebody and they're handing it to you.
Yes, what a beautiful gesture. No wonder everyone loves working with you. It's such a beautiful family feel. Alvin, thank you so much. And Joe, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
To our viewers at home, thank you for spending time with us today, talking about something that's so important and often hard to talk about, estate planning. I know you want to call in and book that complimentary consultation. This is your opportunity to do so, 888-959-2743, or grab your smartphone, click on that QR code. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you back here 1 week from today on Mid-State Money Talk. Take care.